Hello and welcome to the third episode of Energy Conscious Art. I'm Ross Drago, and the painting that you see behind me is an interactive painting. What I tried to do by creating interactive paintings is to dissolve that illusory line between the creator of a painting and the viewer of the painting. When you're done watching this, hopefully you will get a better sense of what I mean by that. And so, without hesitation, let's look at interactive paintings. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoy this. This painting is what I call module art. It is also an interactive painting, and that's the reason why I create the modules, so that people can choose from a container, a box, of paintings of the same size, and remove from the background a given painting and replace it with another painting. In this way, they become co-creators of that painting. This dissolves the line between the artist as creator of the painting and viewer as passive observer of the painting. Basically, what it does is it makes whoever alters the painting on the canvas in a show become another creator of that painting. And in that sense, it expresses what I'm really trying to express, and that is there is a tension between the creator of a book or a painting or of any dance performance, any art performance, that is a kind of bungee cord. And when one is, say, making a painting, the painter feels the viewer, even though that is outside of time in the future. There is a certain tension there. And that tension holds and feeds the painter, so that if something happens and suddenly that tension is broken, the painter feels it. And in the future, the viewer looks at the painting and suddenly sees a flaw in it. It's a connection. It's a connection because consciousness itself is a singular, unified phenomenon. And no painting would be made knowing that no one would ever see it again. At least not by me. And that tension structure is very important, because that tension feeds the energy to the artist or the writer, and that co-creates that piece of art or that book. If that tension suddenly is lost, the writer, for example, might stop, feel that difference, feel that aloneness, and go back and rethink the manner in which they said it, so that they reconnect with that person who is reading that book in the future. This is outside of time-space. That's one reason why interactive painting makes sense to me, as one mode of painting, because it acknowledges that when a viewer goes up to the canvas, starts altering it, it is no longer my show. It is their show.
Master at work here.
That's great.
Yeah, that's kind of,
Uh-huh.
sort of, you know. It's really cool. It's cool. I like that.
As we can see, there's a bin filled with paintings. Viewers remove the paintings and compose their own image. It soon becomes their show, and others begin participating. Once they realize that they can actually take a painting from one painting and bring it across the room and put it on another painting, it becomes a very active show. People begin running back and forth with different images, creating their own painting in their own show. There are a number of backgrounds to choose from. These and others can be seen on my website, and they range from holding 3 images to 4 to 9 images. And in this one, which was taken as a theme concerning Puerto Rico, has images on both sides. That is, each image can be flipped over to a completely different image on the back side and replaced onto the background. This piece was commissioned by Hector Hernandez and consists of 18 paintings that create one painting. The possibilities of changing this painting around are practically limitless. A mathematician once told me that there were as many possibilities as there are grains of sand on a beach. I believe him after trying to figure out how many ways this painting can be arranged and rearranged. So each painting is literally thousands of paintings in one, when they are modular and interactive. Here are some close-ups of some of the images from the Puerto Rico painting. I paint in many styles. I believe I do because my father, who was a really great painter, painted in many different ways. He invented many different things, and he made hundreds of oil paintings and taught me to paint from childhood, really. But when he passed away, my sister invited a curator from a major museum to come and look at his work. And after looking at much of his work, the curator said, well, frankly, it looks like they were all made by a different person. And so he dismissed the work. A life's worth of paintings, beautiful paintings. And it made me mad as a teenage boy who aspired to be a painter himself. And I decided one day I would invent a way of painting that would allow me to paint in every way I loved to paint. And it would be a completely unified way of painting so that I might express all of the different qualities of painting, all of the different kinds of beauty that are inside any one of us. And so I invented eventually, many years later, module art, which allowed me to paint every way I love to paint and have no one dismiss it as eclectic, because inside of us is every imaginable way of seeing. And I believe painters deserve to have that celebrated, not dismissed because it isn't marketably guaranteed as a style. This last painting is very special to me. It may not even be relevant to this episode, but it's something I very much want to say because this changed my life. When I was a boy in grammar school, 7th grade, I believe, Buffalo was a pretty tough town in those days. And after school, as I was walking home, one of the boys who was much stronger than me followed me and put out his fists, challenging me for a fight. I don't know why, but I stared down at those fists, and they were so tightly held. I could feel the hatred and the anger. And as I looked down at those fists, and I tried to figure out whether I wanted this guy to discharge that hatred on me or not, I got a vision. And the vision was from a few feet above me. And I was able to look down into my own head. And in my head, there was a bird's nest. And in that bird's nest, there were 5 eggs. And those eggs were all from different birds. They all shared that same nest. And as I looked down at this vision, a voice said, "Never let anyone pound their hatred into you, because it will destroy these eggs, and you will not want to give them to humanity." And that changed my whole life. And I turned and I walked away. But I felt very warm for many years to come. And that's what this painting means to me. And I think what I'm trying to do now is give those gifts that were given to me out. And I've tried as hard as I can to make sure nothing broke them. Thanks very much. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you can join me next Saturday when we have Identity is the Crisis, a book of mine, in which there is a diagram that I think you'll find very interesting. It will allow you to actually see a relative image of your own self-definition, and you'll be able to compare that with that of your partner or friends, and I think you'll find it very useful. Thanks again, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.